about all of us in terms of the engineers and entrepreneurs who are responsible for continuing its development as a powerful professional engineering activity. And I suppose also about the design aspect, the increasing value of design for society in terms of public good and public benefit. I suppose the pandemic has impacted our lives in ways that we never really expected, I suppose. We certainly weren't prepared for it, but cope with it as best we could. We have. And AM has been part of that story. So much has changed in a relatively short space of time, as products, services and systems have had to be reconfigured, in some cases completely redesigned overnight. And least we forget the sort of weekly ritual here in the UK of going outside our front doors at 8 o'clock at night to stand in the street and clap in celebration of NHS workers. The newscasts reporting the valiant and selfless acts of unique individuals like good old Sir Tom Moore, his fantastic effort in raising 32 million for the NHS by walking 100 laps of his garden in the run-up to his 100th birthday. But where were the plaudits for the countless additive manufacturing enthusiasts and engineers making PPE in their homes and factories? Folks who tracked down open source designs for compliant products and got to work to supply their local hospitals and NHS outlets. This is this slide here, this graphic is from an IET video that we made earlier this year and published in April. Love the headline. Engineers are turning £25 snorkel masks into ventilators. You get the chance to have a look at this video, which is on our YouTube channel. Just type in £25 mask and you'll find it quite easily. Tells the story of how, thanks to additive, the standard decathlon snorkeling mask was repurposed to connect with hospital oxygen systems. So we may not always be the first to know what needs fixing, but I find engineers are brilliant at solving problems, overcoming obstacles, delivering solutions. And additive may not be new, but it's certainly captured people's imagination and gained more ground, I feel, in the last 8 months, as the shock of disruption has hit supply lines and logistics, and factories have sought to pivot their opportunities and operations to manufacture completely different product lines. Pre-COVID, I suppose the outlook and attitude to additive, I think it had been changing, alongside gaming, VR, AR technologies, additive was something you could easily do at home. There may not yet be a 3D printer in every home, but take-up has increased, I think, as our curiosity and creativity sort of found a new outlet in additive. That's good, I think. The ability to transform screen-based design into a three-dimensional object, wow, it's something completely different, unique, personalized, one-off things. And we have to garner that enthusiasm, we have to garner that talent, I think, as an industry. The creation of a whole new industry with multiple brands, each looking to differentiate their offering in the marketplace, driving innovation, jobs and investment. I mean, there's quite a choice for consumers, is there not? And the prices are becoming increasingly affordable as technology advances. And we're hoping, I'm sure we do, capture young hearts and minds. But it's so much more than a fad, and so much more than what do I buy for Christmas. Back in the factory, additive is 3D printing on an industrial scale, and I suppose least likely to succeed on its own, most likely to succeed as part of a collaborative, integrated digital transformation. I'll touch on that perhaps a little bit later. So here we are. It's fantastic to be here today on the launch of this fantastic new network. Congratulations to everybody who brought the bid together, to Patrick and Alan in particular. Thanks also to UKRI EPSRC for going with this particular option. We as the IET were delighted to write in support of the bid and to offer our support as a dissemination partner. So pretty much what I wanted to talk to you about today really is how we make the best of what we do during the course of the project's duration. I hope everyone on today's call is a member of a professional membership organisation of some description, regardless of which sort of discipline you have signed up with. I think as sort of professionals, we spend most of our lives working from time to time, changing jobs, changing employers. I've always found it's great to have the support of a membership organisation as a constant within your working life. And perhaps we have some people here today who are, in fact, IET members. I very much hope so. And if this is you, please do get in touch with me. I'd very much like to engage with you. My details will be coming up at the end of my presentation. So let's give you a quick recce around the IET, really, who we serve and what we do. And I'll mention some potential touch points as being possible things that the IET could do to help the new network with. First and foremost, we are a charitable engineering organisation working to meet the needs of society. We like to describe the IET as being networked to the world very much. Our members work in industry, academia, in public and third sectors, and they're based all over the world in over 200 countries across the globe. We have over 100 networks which meet regularly, organise events and promote STEM activities in local schools and colleges. We have 22 technical networks based around technologies or sectors. And I suppose an important first touch point for this new network can be with our colleagues on the manufacturing technical network, also our design and production sector, and our manufacturing policy panel. And these offer access to over 35,000 manufacturing members and industry contacts. As an organisation, we sort of have four groups of stakeholders that we cater for. The first being, obviously, and very importantly, practitioners within industry. I suppose looking at the things on the right-hand side of the screen here, really, professional registration is really important to our members. And we're licensed to award 6 chartered applications, qualifications. So, for example, when you become a chartered engineer, it demonstrates, to your employers, clients and peers that you have had your competence independently assessed and that you've made a commitment towards continuous professional development. So I'm sure many of you here are probably chartered already. For those that haven't, obviously strongly encourage you to pursue that particular course. We've got an extensive events program, currently much of which is being delivered online, and including a sort of wide range of sectors and activities, not least things like our annual Innovation Awards, which is happening, in fact, next week on the 19th of November, week after, I think it is. You can register for a free place if you'd like to attend by visiting our website. We have flagship venues in the form of Savoy Place, which is close to London's Embankment. Also, Austin Court, our meetings and conference facility in central Birmingham. Our second stakeholder group, most importantly, is industry. And again, if I just give you a flavour of what we've been doing there. On the right-hand side of the slide, it's not an exhaustive list of engineering brands. In fact, we actually have over 130 corporate partners working with us. And the complete list of those can be found also on our site. We also have SMEs in partnership with us as well. We call those enterprise partners. And we deliver a number of things to those organizations. Looking at the center of the slide, this thing called horizontal innovation and the additive product underneath. This is part of a popular campaign that we ran called Horizontal Innovation, which was all about taking technology from a specific sector and applying it to provide the basis of a solution in another sector. We partnered with the MTC, and we launched an open R&D competition together, inviting SMEs to submit their ideas to address challenges in the healthcare sector. The winning idea, the use of a pressure relief valve as used in the food sector, was used to create a special catheter, reducing the pain and misery and cost of urinary tract infections in NHS hospitals. The winning solution came from a company called 3P Innovation, who are winners of a Queen's Award for Enterprise and Innovation, and a prolific producer of PPE throughout 2020. Academic audiences are very important to us as well, and then we also have a roll call of universities here in the UK and overseas. Apologies if your university is not presented on the slide. It was hard to know which of the 70 I should go for, but we have academic partners in China and India too. We've got various resources at our fingertips. One of those is InSpec. InSpec is basically a fantastic resource for researchers. We have just under 20 million records on the database, which is basically, if you're looking for inspiration for your next research project or compiling a sort of comprehensive literature review of your chosen field, InSpec is a great place to start. We describe it as the sort of definitive engineering and physics research database, and it contains research from over 4,500 journals. Which brings me on to our fourth and cold group, and the one I really wanted to concentrate on today, really, as far as the network was concerned, which is the societal audience. As I say, additive for public good and for public benefit. As part of our charitable remit, the IET, does quite a lot of things, not least, in fact, inspiring the next generation of engineers. We match fund donations received to fund scholarships and bursaries. Last year, we raised over £1 million, benefiting 273 students and apprentices. As you may know, we're sort of heavily involved in promoting STEM, and we deliver hands-on STEM experiences for children aged 4 to 16 years through 3 of our first LEGO League divisions across the UK and Ireland. Another important aspect of our mission to inspire, inform, and influence lies in providing policy input and evidence to politicians and policymakers to encourage governments to support engineering and technology and investment in research and development. We create thought leadership on a wide range of engineering topics for a variety of audiences. Our N-Short series of 60-second videos on societal questions continues to build new audiences for engineering, innovation, and value. So I think, just to sort of close, really, I think additive has got a big role to play, and I think in building the new network, we want to become, much more than just a talk shop, I suppose. We want to strive to move out of our comfort zone. I think that's always good. We have to be bold. We want to make real progress, and I hope a strong network will help us to connect with engineers across the entire universe of industry, if we're to sort of remain relevant and of value. And we need to think about the mainstream as well. So manufacturers recognize the value that additive can help to create. Let's work to ensure additive isn't just seen as an end in itself, but is part of an emerging portfolio of industrial digital technologies, which, when combined, can help to ease the pain many firms experience. How do I get to market faster? How can I reduce prototyping costs and timelines? How can additive increase our resilience as a business? To improve our resource productivity, how can we integrate with the adoption of other industrial technologies? So I suppose future shocks are fairly inevitable. We've already begun to see change in a big way this year, and we will continue, I'm sure, to see that into 2021. We need to build resilience and trust as the world of work and the face of industry changes beyond sort of all recognition. In 10 years' time, manufacturing, I think, will look very, very different from the way it looks today. We're likely to see all sorts of changes. It's difficult to predict the future, but we're likely to see manufacturers and supply chains sharing assets and capabilities, from smart factories on industrial estates to specialist sort of additive SMEs based on our high streets. You know, we're going to see a move from manufacturing from mineral and metal-based metals towards manufacture from biomaterials. I'm sure additive is going to have a part to play in that. So there really is a great opportunity for additive, I think, to sort of step out into the spotlight, and for the design for additive manufacture network really to be a meeting point for all those involved in taking the sector forward. So that, in a nutshell, is really what I wanted to talk to you about today, really. Thank you very much for the opportunity to present. We wish the network every success for the future, and look forward to collaborating with you. I'll end here with a sort of a quick resume of some of the things that we as the IET may